Hello dear students. Today we will start second poem from our book Hornbill, The Laburnum Top. It's by Ted Hughes. The poet of this poem, Ted Hughes, whose real name was Edward James Hughes. He was born on 17 August 1930 and died on 28 October in 1998. He was an English poet, translator, and children's writer. Critics frequently rank him as one of the best poets of his generation and one of the 20th century's greatest writers. He was appointed Poet Laureate in 1984. Children's Poet Laureate is an honorary position appointed by the monarch and the government of the United Kingdom. This poem, The Laburnum Top, is about a repaying relationship between the laburnum tree and the goldfinch bird. Laburnum is a short tree with the hanging branches with yellow flowers and poisonous seeds. And goldfinch is a small singing bird with yellow feathers on its wings. So both are yellow in color, and because of this similarity, goldfinch and its babies are not noticed by any predator. So the tree is yellow, silent and death-like and is made alive by the bird and her young ones when they are chirping on this tree. The yellow bird has her shelter on the tree where she feeds her young ones. But as soon as the bird leaves to fly in the sky, the tree becomes silent and death-like again. So this theme we will study in this poem. The Laburnum Top, Poem and Explanation. The laburnum top is silent, quite still. In the afternoon, yellow September sunlight. A few leaves yellowing, all its seeds falling. So in the above lines, the poet says that he saw a laburnum tree. And the leaves of this tree were yellow. The tree's top is still and silent. Top is silent and quite still. In the afternoon, yellow September sunlight. It was the daytime of September month. A few leaves yellowing. So it is autumn season and a few leaves yellowing. All its seeds had fallen. So the poet has used the word yellow for leaves and sunlight. As I told you that this tree has yellow leaves. Yellow symbolizes silence, death and beauty here. The poet describes the whole scene of the tree with this color. Till the goldfinch comes with a twitching chirrup, a suddenness, a startlement at a branch end. Then what happens? The tree, which was quite still, then a bird, goldfinch, came there. And when it comes with a twitching chirrup. Twitching means a sudden jerk of movement. So with a sudden jerk of movement, and chirrup means the twittering sound, the chirping sound. So with that sudden chirping, then a suddenness, a startlement at a branch end. At the of a branch of the tree, there was a suddenness, a startlement. The tree which was still, which was silent, which was death-like silent, now it was full of noises. It was full of excitement. Then sleek as a lizard and alert and abrupt, she enters the thickness. She enters the thickness. Thickness is for the branches and many leaves of that tree. She is for that bird. Then that bird, she sits on the tree. She sits inside the tree with the sleek as a lizard. So here the poet gives simile. Sleek as a lizard. you must have observed lizard. It's glossy and it's always alert, very precautious. An abrupt, sudden movement. So, just lizard, this bird also very smoothly, quietly, and with suddenness and with all the precautions, she sits inside or she sits on that tree. And a machine, it starts up. And when she enters, the noise, suddenly it became too loud as if the machine started. So the tree here, the poet gives the metaphor for the tree, that the tree was like a machine. And as soon as this bird, which was like an engine for that tree, she entered inside, there was lot of noise. And the noise was of chitlinch. Chitlinch means chirping. And the tremor of wings. Tremor means excitement. And trillings. Trillings is again music. So this bird was not alone there. There she joined her little ones, her babies. And when she entered there, when the babies found their mother, then there was more sound. There was more noise. All started chirping. So that's why there was chitlinch, the chirping sound and excitement of wings of birds, little ones, and the music of the whole family. The whole tree trembles and thrills, and the whole tree, it started shivering and thrills. It was full of excitement. So let's see once more the whole explanation. The goldfinch bird comes to end the death-like scene of the tree and makes a sudden chirrup sound. The bird, while being rapid, alert and precautious like a lizard, sits on the branches of the tree. As she moved towards the thickness of the branch, her younger ones started chirping and doing vibrations with wings, making a sound like a machine. Because of the movement of the bird and her young ones, the tree starts to shake and thrill. So now we can see that the poet has given two opposite scenarios of the tree. The tree was being death-like and still, and then suddenly giving life and shelter to bird and her young ones. It is the engine of her family. She stokes it full, then flirts out to a branch end, showing her barred face identity mask. It is the engine of her family. So this line is having a beautiful metaphor. There is some confusion. A few say that it is for the tree, and a few say that it is for the bird. And I too feel that it is for the bird, because the tree is already has been mentioned as a machine. So this bird is the engine, and she is engine of her family as well as for this laburnum tree. She stokes it full. So we can take two meanings. Stokes means to raise. So she is raising its little ones, and she is giving fuel to that tree as well. Okay. Then flirts out to a branch end. Flirts out, lead on. She lead on to a branch end, showing her barred face identity mask. So she is having a stripy face, identity mask. So this bird, her dark colored stripy face is visible as her body is yellow colored and hides behind the yellow leaves of the tree. So if you remember, in the introduction I told you that this tree saves this bird, goldfinch bird, from other predators, as the yellow color of the tree's leaves as well as the feathers of this bird's wings, both are same. Then with eerie delicate whistle chirrup whisperings, she launches away towards the infinite, and the laburnum subsides to empty. Eerie means strange. So after reaching the end of the branch, the bird makes a chirping sound. Then with eerie delicate whistle, eerie, she makes a strange, delicate, very gentle whistle chirrup whisperings. So gentle whisper like the chirping of birds. So she makes a very gentle chirping sound. She launches away towards the infinite. And as we know that this bird, not this bird, all the birds, they keep on collecting food for their babies by picking up little bit food wherever they can arrange, they bring it to their nests. So after feeding their babies, again this bird launches away. Again she flies away towards the infinite sky, towards the infinite sky, and the laburnum subsides to empty. So when she leaves the tree, then what happens? Again the tree subsides, diminishes to empty, diminishes from all the noise, all the sounds. So when this bird leaves the tree, again the laburnum tree is silent and death-like. So who's the engine? This bird is engine. When she enters the machine, that laburnum tree is full of excitement, full of noise. And when she leaves, the tree is again silent. And the babies, they are also active when the mother is there. Because in the protection of mother, the babies always feel free. We can see poetic devices. The poet has used beautiful poetic devices like alliteration, simile, metaphor. So I have already given you examples. Alliteration the poet has used in September sunlight and tree trembles. Simile, sleek as a lizard. In the example of metaphor, it is the engine of her family. A machine starts up. Fine. And any other example, if you find, then answer in message box. Could you find any other poetic device? The poet has also used personification. When the poet writes, the whole tree trembles and thrills. So as if the tree is a human being.